What's up, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're making 5 old-fashioned recipes you absolutely need in your little cocktail book. They're easy riffs on the classics, so nothing too complicated, just pure deliciousness. Also, because Father's Day is coming pretty soon, we're gonna make them in mini pre-batch cocktail versions so you can create a 5 old-fashioned pack to make the perfect homemade Father's Day gift. I also prepared a free cocktail ebook with all the recipes so you can include that with your gift, and that way the person you're gonna give this to will be able to replicate their favorite old fashions when the bottles will be gone. If you're the kind of person who prefer the bigger gesture though, don't worry, I also have the ultimate Father's Day gift idea just for you. And if you are a father watching, well, I highly recommend you share this to your kids, your wife or partner, and let them know it's their chance to prove you how special they think you are. You're welcome. So now, if you're ready, let's go make some old fashions. Let's go. Alright, so before we start with the recipes, let's talk about one ingredient you will see across all our cocktails today. When you make an old-fashioned, the spirit, sugar, or bitters can easily change to create a new recipe. But for me, one thing needs to stay consistent to create a great old-fashioned, and is the use of quality ice. That's the reason why I'm extremely happy and proud once again to team up with KLARIS Ice Maker for this episode. KLARIS has been a long-time partner on this channel. I've been using it for almost 2 years now, and for the past 6 months, all the ice, 99% I should say, because sometimes I use pebble ice, 99% of the ice I've been using, whether it is for the channel, Instagram, for my personal cocktail needs, for shaking, stirring, or for serving, has been made with the KLARIS Ice Maker. So I can genuinely say that I love this machine. I love everything about it, but before I talk about how to use it and why I love it so much, let me tell you this. If you want to buy one, or if you want to buy anything from KLARIS, use this promo code and you will get 10% off your purchase site-wide. So if you want to buy a machine, if you want to buy a bundle, if you want to buy some accessories, use this promo code for your 10% discount. Now, if you don't know already, KLARIS is the first and only machine to bring the industrial technology used to make those massive 300-pound blocks of clear ice for ice culture into a home appliance. So it's literally the best way to make professional quality ice at home. I've been making clear ice at home for about 15 years now, so I think I've tried pretty much everything that's available to us. And while I kind of always enjoyed the process and found it somewhat rewarding, about 6 months ago I decided to go full-on KLARIS in order to save some freezer space just to put more food in it. And that made me realize how much I love how easy it is to use KLARIS and how I don't have to think anymore about all the downsides involved when making clear ice at home. With KLARIS, it couldn't be easier. I produce more ice than I actually need. The ice is always perfect. I don't make a mess anymore, and I save a lot of freezer space. So unless I need eventually like a big block of clear ice, I will never go back to what I was doing before. So if you want to know how to use it, like I said, it couldn't be easier. All you need is to place the plastic inserts in the silicone tray, fill it up with tap water, place it in the machine, press start, wait until the ice is ready. It takes about 10 hours. Once the ice is ready, the machine will let you know with a little bleep, and you have 5 hours to get to the machine before unmolding it. The machine will hold on the ice for that amount of time. Once you're ready and want to unmold the ice cubes, you simply take the tray out, remove the excess water, flip it upside down, wait a couple of minutes to ease the unmolding, press on the tray, and that's it. As easy as that. That's how you make the best clear ice cubes you can possibly make. Then you can store the cubes in a plastic tray that comes with the machine for your daily use. And what I like to do is whenever I reach about 8 or 10 cubes extra is to vacuum seal them for better conservation. So that way you can stack them up in your freezer. They're gonna stay in perfect shape and they're not gonna take a lot of freezer space. So like I said before, if you're interested, head over to KLARIS's website. The link's gonna be in the description and pinned comment below, and use this promo code for 10% off your purchase. So now that we're equipped with perfect clear ice, let's make our first old-fashioned, the maple and soy sauce old-fashioned. I'm gonna make all cocktails in small batches of 2 servings today, and I'm gonna bottle them in 120 ml bottles. They're pretty cheap and easy to find, but if you like these ones, I'm gonna link them in the description below. Now, the maple and soy sauce old-fashioned may seem a little bit like a strange idea, but it's basically just an old-fashioned with a couple of drops of saline solution. We're all pretty familiar now with the the concept of adding a little bit of salt in our cocktails to make the flavor pop. And sometimes I just like to switch the salt a little bit to make things more interesting. So soy sauce is something I love to use, especially when paired with maple syrup, because they share a similar flavor molecule called the maple furanol. So these two things together is just a match made in heaven. So to make the recipe, you're gonna start with 4 ounces of your favorite bourbon, 2 teaspoons or 10 mils of maple syrup, 1 ml of Angostura bitters, and 6 drops of soy sauce. I'm gonna give it a brief stir to combine the ingredients, and then you simply bottle it up. As we didn't add any water for the dilution, when it's time to serve, you simply pour 2 ounces of it in a mixing glass. Stir it over ice like you would normally do. Strain it over a fresh block of clear ice. And bonus point today if you're using KLARIS ice. Express the orange zest, garnish the drink with the zest, and enjoy. For the second one, we're gonna make a chipotle Oaxaca old fashioned. For this one, we're gonna start by infusing reposado tequila with just a little bit of chipotle pepper. Here, all I want is the flavor of the pepper, but not its heat. So we're gonna remove the seeds and also what's usually the white pith, but now because it's dry, it doesn't look white anymore. But you just gonna scrape the inside of the pepper in order to keep only the flesh. This will help to impart as little heat as possible while keeping all the beautiful flavor. For our small batch today, we're gonna need only 1 gram of the flesh. We're gonna add that to a sealable jar and 3 ounces of reposado tequila. We're gonna close the lid and let that infuse for 2 hours. After, we simply fine strain it and we can move on with the rest of the recipe. So next we're gonna measure out 3 ounces of our chipotle-infused tequila, and in case some of the liquid got absorbed by the pepper, just complete with uninfused tequila. Then we're gonna add 1 ounce of reposado mezcal, 5 ml of pure agave syrup, and 1 ml of Angostura. Once again, stir the mix and make sure the agave is completely dissolved, and bottle it up. Then again, when it's time to serve, you simply pour 2 ounces of it in a mixing glass, stir over ice for about 20 seconds, and here, instead of pouring it over a beautiful block of clear ice, I'm gonna use the new KLARIS ice press to make a couple of perfect spheres. We're gonna complete this by expressing an orange zest across the top, and of course, we're gonna garnish the drink with the zest. The new KLARIS press was designed to produce perfect spheres, the biggest one possible, with the size of cubes produced by the machine. The spheres are just under 2 inches. That's the reason why I like to use 2 for my old fashions, and 3 is perfect for my highballs. The last time the press was in stock on KLARIS's website, it went sold out pretty fast. So if you want one for Father's Day, I recommend you move fast and of course use my promo code for your 10% off. So now let's move on to old fashioned. Number 3. The TRADEWINDS Old Fashioned is one of my all-time favorite old-fashioned riffs. I took the classic tiki drink, the TRADEWINDS, which is rum, coconut cream, apricot liquor, and lime juice, and transformed it into an old-fashioned. So we're washing rum with coconut oil, with a little bit of apricot liquor, some lime bitters, and just a little bit of sugar. It is chef's kiss. So first, in a sealable glass jar, we're gonna add 3 ounces of aged Cuban rum, 1.5 ounces of Plantation OFTD, and next we're gonna need 15 ml of melted coconut oil. We're gonna add that to the rum, close the jar, and since I'm using my magnetic stirrer, I'm gonna let it spin for 2 hours. But if you don't have one, simply shake it briefly. Then we're gonna let that rest at room temperature until the fat separates from the liquid. Once you get a perfect clear break, place it in the freezer until the fat solidifies. And for the filtration, I'm using a fine mesh strainer and a couple of layers of cheesecloth. Then we're gonna move on, and in a container, we're gonna add 4 ounces of our coconut washed rum, 2 teaspoons of apricot liquor, 1 teaspoon of 1:1 ratio gum demerara syrup, 1 ml of Angostura bitters, and 0.5 ml of lime bitters. Stir to combine and bottle up. This time for the service, I'm gonna go back to an ice cube, but I'm gonna use the cleverly added designer plates on top and bottom of the ice press to carve some beautiful designs. Then we're gonna add 2 ounces of our TRADEWINDS Old Fashioned in a mixing glass, stir it briefly over ice, and strain it over our beautifully designed ice cube. For the garnish, we're gonna express some lime oils over the cocktail and garnish the drink with the zest. For cocktail number 4 now, some of you will say I'm cheating a little bit because it's not officially a riff on an old-fashioned, because we're gonna make a riff on a Sazerac with the Chardonnay Sazerac. In order to make this one, you will need to open up a brand new bottle of Chardonnay just for a couple of meals because we're making only 2 drinks. So what I recommend is either you make a bigger batch of the Sazerac and keep some for yourself, which is not a bad idea at all, or you simply see this as an occasion to drink a good bottle of Chardonnay with your dinner tonight. You do as you wish, but believe me, this subtle variation on the classic is wonderful. The oaky and buttery notes and slight acidity from the Chardonnay pairs wonderfully with the cognac and will take your Sazerac to new heights. So to make it, we're gonna start with 10 grams of white sugar and 10 ml of a good buttery and oaky Chardonnay. Next, we're gonna add 2.5 ounces of rye whiskey, 1.5 ounces of cognac, 2 ml of Peychaud's bitters, and 1 ml of absinthe. You're gonna stir until the sugar is completely dissolved and bottle up. When it comes the time of serving, pour 2 ounces of it in a mixing glass, stir over ice. Next, spray a little bit of absinthe to coat the inside of a glass, strain your cocktail in it, express a lemon zest for the oils, and discard. Alright guys, so it's already time for the last cocktail of our 5 old-fashioned gift pack, so we're gonna make the Japanese REVOLVER, a Japanese whiskey and coffee old-fashioned. We're gonna start with 4 ounces of Japanese whiskey, and I'm using Nikka from the barrel, which is one of my favorite. Then we're gonna add 1/2 ounce of coffee liqueur, 2 teaspoons of Demerara gum syrup, 1 ml of Angostura bitters, and 1 small dash of cinnamon tincture. Stir to combine, bottle it up, and this one is a little bit over 120 ml, so do yourself a favor and drink the leftover. Then, like the other one, when it's time to serve, pour 2 ounces of it in a mixing glass, stir over ice, strain over a beautiful block of clear ice, and garnish with 3 coffee beans. So there you have it, my friends, your 5 old-fashioned gift pack with the KLARIS ice maker and ice press for the perfect Father's Day gift bundle. The link for your free ebook and the recipes will be in the description below, and don't forget your promo code if you want to go for the great gesture and get 10% off your purchase site-wide on KLARIS's website. So my friends, this is it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, to turn the bell if you want to make sure not to miss the next one. And until then, thank you very much again. Have a great day and see you very soon. Cheers.